Yeah, congratulations. One True Loves is coming out soon. It's fantastic. What has that release been for you, kind of building up to it and soon having it out on such a global level?
Well, I'm super excited for the movie. I knew it was going to be a good one. You have that feeling when you're doing it. You're just like,
Oh,
yes, 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 yes. That little Philippa Sue is off the charts beautiful and so talented. And Luke Gracie, my son,
mhm.
I kept telling him, you really are my son. Like, I really think you might be my son. Like, maybe you went missing and somehow there was a mistake. We were just so in sync. I just loved him so much. I didn't get to meet Simu,
Okay.
but my old friend Michael O'Keefe was there and Lauren Tom. It was just a lot of wonderful people.
I mean, everybody in this cast is so talented, and it's such a great performance by everyone as a whole. I'm wondering, do you have a favorite moment or memory from your time on this set?
Oh boy. I don't know if it would be a favorite, but it was just so insane. The wedding scene on that peninsula and this promise. I mean, it was just the middle of nowhere. I mean, and the wind was howling. It was just like one of those things where you're just all together, you're all freezing, you're all doing this wedding scene, and it was just, it still ended up having this sense of beauty to it.
Hmm.
And we had a really fun night that night in some town we'd never heard of. That like we ended up finding someone to feed us and someone to get us home. It
I
was a
mean,
fun
did you have
night.
good food?
Yeah, we did have good food. Yeah. And then somebody was like, I'm going to call an Uber. I go, no, 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 honey. Just tell the restaurant we need to get home. There's no Ubers here. Like we're in the middle of nowhere. But
Yeah.
it was a fun experience. They were a great bunch of people.
Hmm.
And I wish the movie all the luck in the world.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, as an actress, do you feel a kind of stress or need to bring this performance that extra bit because it is based off of a book that's so beloved by people?
You know, I think no. I think that for me it's because I've done a few things now that were based on books that people loved. Um Under the Dome and Sharp Objects and a lot of things like that. And I think at the end of the day, you want to bring for me, like I'm always trying to connect not just to my role, but to the movie as a whole.
Hmm.
What's the tone, what's really happening here, where are we in space and time together? And so that's sort of more how I operate, I think.
Definitely.
I'm very grateful that I'm allowed to go back and forth from comedy to drama to TV to film. It's I have had a super lucky blessed career in that way.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is obviously a romance, but do you have a favorite genre that you've worked in? If so, what's your go-to movie in that genre?
Oh man, I don't know. I love the indies too. I love the little ones where the
Okay.
guy's just scraping it together and there's 5 cents and we're all in a tent and like I love that because it's such an act of faith
Hmm.
to try to pull something like that off. And this movie was not, you know, um overly financed, shall we say. There was still a lot of faith leaping to do.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the kind of budgets that we used to have. You know,
Mhm.
features don't have the kind of budgets that TV movies of the week used to have, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a different world out there. And I would have to say that romantic comedy is my favorite. I mean,
Okay.
I love I love the funny. Like if I can, like I do. Like I love all the Hallmark movies that I do in the Lifetime because there's such a sweetness to it. And also this film I think has a lot of truth to it, right?
Mhm.
Like what do you do in her situation? I mean, because her loyalty is so fierce, but she has to find her heart, and it's it's a really tough position to be put in.
Yeah. No, definitely. I feel like even after COVID or all the hard times that everybody's gone through, you just need a feel-good movie like this, even if it does have those stressful points, like which one is she gonna choose?
Yeah, yeah, and we're not telling. We're not telling
We're not spoiling anything.
because it's really a hard choice. I wouldn't
Yeah.
know what to do in her shoes. I really wouldn't. Um, but it was, oh, and Gary Hudson, my husband in the movie, was a charming man too. I love all my movie husbands, so we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
um yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, it seems like a great cast, but I'm wondering if you could describe this film as a whole in 3 words, what would they be?
Love, fear, freedom.
Okay, fair enough. But my last question for you, because I don't want to keep you too long. Fans are a big part of the release, whether it's a movie or a TV show. I'm wondering, in your career, do you have a favorite or most memorable fan encounter?
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, I have had so many, but I was just at a convention 2 weeks ago that for people stars from the '90s, television shows on the '90s.
Okay.
And the last time I did one, this young man came up to me and he said, "I need your help," and he was just nervous as could be. And I was like, "What's going on? Are you all right? What's going on?" He's like, "I want to ask her to marry me, and she really loves you." And I was like, "Okay, all right, we'll find her, we'll find her." So I was like, "Who point her out to me?" And so I sent my assistant. I was like, "Go get her, ask her to come in, please." And so she comes in, and he looks at me, and I look at him, and he gets down on one knee, and she starts to cry. I start to cry. Melissa Joan Hart looks at her from across the room and goes, and runs over. Like, so we're all like in the room and we're filming it, and like this, it was just like, it was incredible. It was just such an incredible moment. And I have to say, this year they came back and they said, "We're getting married in October." And it was, I got to see them again and wish them all the joy in the world. So that was very touching to me.
That's
I never had
amazing.
somebody propose before.
Yeah,
It
I
was
mean, are you
cool.
invited to the wedding?
No, I don't think so. Um, but they're very sweet, and they made sure to come over and spend some time with me. And before the whole thing was over, they came for one last goodbye.
Yeah.
So that was very meaningful to me, very sweet. But there's so many. I did a movie years ago called Fly Away, which is a low down and dirty, low budget indie, and I played the mother of a girl with autism, and it was based on a true story, the director's life. And my
Mhm.
sister happens to be one of the foremost expert in working with people with autism and similar disabilities, and giving them lives of their own choosing and integrate them into society. So she was the consultant on the film, and this girl walks up and she has her headphones on and her glasses on, and and so I recognize instantly that she has autism. And she comes up and I'm sort of gentle with her, and she has a machine that she can communicate, and she says, "I've always loved you. Sabrina made my childhood." And I was like, "Thank you so much." And she said, "You did a movie about a girl like me, and you've made my life worth livable." And I just started to cry because you make these little films and you don't know, I mean, that one actually was well reviewed, but it was a small film. It didn't go very far. But to know that this girl who desperately needed to see that movie saw that movie, it makes everything that we do worth doing. It makes it worthwhile. It still makes me cry. But it was yeah, she left my booth and I was just like crying. My assistants were crying. It was just such a beautiful thing to hear and see. So, every day I'm grateful for what I do, what we do. And a movie like this, One True Loves, I think is just something that's going to make everybody laugh and everybody cry and everybody feel, warm inside. And what's better than that?
Yeah,
I mean, what's better than that?
I know. There's not much, but thank you so much for your time and congratulations on everything again.
Oh, my pleasure, honey. Nice to see you.